seconds early. I didn't want it to go into the next song.
That's good. We're good.
Do you have anything you want to jump in with?
I'm going to let you. Man, you do a good job with it.
Well, good evening, Prattville Lions fans, and welcome back to the Coach Caleb Ross Show. We're coming to you live from Los Mayas Restaurant in the Winn-Dixie Shopping Center in Prattville. If you're anywhere nearby, we'd invite you to come on out. There's already a pretty nice gathering of Lion fans here enjoying dinner. The atmosphere just gets better every week as the time goes on, so we'd invite you to come by if you're anywhere near. Maybe you're getting off work. We'd invite you to stop in and get some delicious dinner with us here, and along with a thank you to Los Mayas Restaurant. Well, I'm your host, Chris Britton. I'm joined, as always, by head coach of the Lions, Coach Caleb Ross. Coach, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are y'all doing?
Doing great. Hey, listen, Coach, let's just jump right in. Last week we didn't have we did have a game to talk about last week. I wasn't with you last week.
Right.
We were down at the stadium. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts of how the show went last week. I went back and watched a little bit of the video. That was really neat doing it on site at the stadium, and maybe some of your thoughts of why do it there.
Well, it was a great atmosphere. Yeah. First of all, man, you talking about support for Prattville football. We played our 7th and 8th grade. Both of them had victories, by the way. What a good night for Prattville. A lot of people, come out and watch our junior high play. Man, it shows what I've always known, that people support it. When you start putting good product on the field, people are going to support you. They're going to come out and watch. Great atmosphere, and just to have it down there, it's just a good excitement. It almost felt like a little bit like a little college game day feel, a little bit. Somewhat, man. Just a lot going on, but you want that. It's exciting, and the possibilities of what we can do with something like that are endless, man. Where you can go from it. So it was really neat.
Yeah, well, and it kind of speaks to the idea, it's not like you have to build a program here. The program's here, but there's a little bit of culture change, rebuilding, and I feel like something like that's just another block in that rebuilding of getting things back to where you want it. Do you feel that way as well, just the little things like that?
I do, man, and I think it's presenting new ideas and like that right there, doing it, going down there, and I think when it first started out, it was, hey, let's accommodate, I want to watch the junior high game. Then I think everybody saw, hey, this could be a really good idea, how we could go, where we could go with this, and we had different people on, and it just, just trying to make it important, because it is important. There's a lot of people that do support it. There's a lot of people that come out. A lot of people have interest in it, and that's what I try to tell our kids all the time, that, man, you're playing for more than yourself. When you put on that jersey, you put on that helmet, there's a lot of people. Obviously, you're going to play for your family. You're going to play for your school, but you play for this community, and there's a lot of former people like myself that played at Prattville that, it does matter something to me. It does. And there's different levels. Some are deep in it, and some may as much. But it all matters. I still get guys I run into that played head coach. I appreciate you, man, coming back, taking care of our alma mater, man. I keeping up with you now. I haven't been keeping up with Prattville lately. I'm keeping up with you.
Yeah.
Man, that's what I want to understand, that they represent a lot of people, and that's what you want. You want them to understand that, hey, it's a big deal to play at Prattville.
It is, like you said, it almost had a game day feel to it last week. I stopped in for a second, but like I said, I went back and watched a little bit of the video, and the cheerleaders would get back in behind the camera and wave at it. There was that excitement, the action on the field. I had a chance to visit with Coach Burnett last week, and you had shared some comments with him about how important he was, and that program at the 8th grade and the 7th grade at the junior high were as well. And you just made some kind comments about players and stuff like that. Just it throws gas on the fire of people wanting to really go. Maybe speak to that, the future.
We watched their huddle, man. I sit there Friday afternoon right before we're playing Enterprise, and I spend 30 minutes watching their game, man. That is our kids, and I want to see what they're doing. And if anything, I can help. Matter of fact, I saw something they were doing in the 8th grade. I was like, man, I kind of like I may do it ourselves up at the varsity. So it was good stuff, and that's a really talented group, man. They're doing a good job. And what you can say about those group of coaches, man, they do care about kids.
Yeah.
Man. They put a lot of time into that, and that's the main thing. If you ever want, and that's why I think I told Coach the very first time when I come back and said, hey, the main thing, I want us to win. I do, okay? But the main objective, I want kids to enjoy playing the game of football. You know what I mean? I want them to stay involved, get kids out, enjoy playing the game of football. Then, 2, learn basic fundamentals, man. Let's learn the basics of stance, blocking, tackling, catching, throwing, the things that we don't have to keep. You're always going to go work the fundamentals, but we don't have to go back and start from scratch when they get to us. Then 3rd, yes, they're going to turn that scoreboard on. We'd like to win, okay? But the first thing is keep kids excited about Prattville football.
Yeah. And I think you being there and being a part of that, I think that feeds to it. Coach shared a couple of things you did say, in fact, about the play that you liked. And their faces, they just kind of glowed when he told them that. It was really neat.
It's a good play. I mean, it really is. I like the concept. Me and Malone talked about it today. That's something we got to look in, because I've seen it. I get it. It's good stuff.
That's great. That's fantastic. Well, Coach, obviously we had a ball game last week. It went our way, playing the Enterprise Wildcats. Our Lions came out and really team collectively had a big night. Tell us your thoughts on that game a little bit.
Well, I was really proud, man. I was excited for one. Man, I was glad to see our offense have a really big night. We needed it. And I went back and I've kind of we talked about it before. That first game, you go the first game of the year, you play Foley. When you're a new system, new offense, you're never going to be just clicking all together. And it kind of showed that. We really thought we was going to have a big night throwing the football against Stanhope, where the monsoon sets in.
The weather had
and
something
you
to do
throw it
with
around a little bit, and we drop 3 or 4, and that ball's like a brick, and it's like, man, we got to grind this out and find a way. You know what I mean? And then you go play Central, and unfortunately Central's got a really good program, and their starting defense hasn't given up a touchdown all year.
Yeah,
so they're going to do that to a lot of folks, and so it's like you had 3 nights where we really weren't great on offense, and I hate to see it, and our kids, not that they were doubting, but they were losing confidence.
Sure.
And we needed a night where, hey, man, what we're doing, what you're doing, the time you're putting in is going to pay off.
Yeah.
And it paid off. And we had, man, a great night. Man, we had some individual performers just play exceptional, man. I mean, Taylor Thompson, he had a great night, man. I think he was credited for maybe 9 or 10 catches, but I think we had 1 catch that was called back because of penalty. He had a great night, man. Trey Edwards had a great night as quarterback, man. I think he was like 12 of 18, throwing the football, rushed for 188. Kyle Kramer come in, had another great night throwing the football. Then you look at Malik Smith, had a good night. And I tell you, the group, and those guys, and our 2 running backs, 2 sophomore running backs really had a great night. But I tell you, the group I'm most proud of, man, our offensive line.
That group has
gotten better. If one group from day one to now, what they've improved, man, it's and sometimes only a coach and maybe a coach that actually played O-line can see it. You know what I mean? But
you understand the mentality.
I see what they're doing, man, and they're getting better so much from where we started to now. Those things are exciting. Kids having fun, and even though Enterprise scored 28 defensively, but we still played pretty good. We gave up a few big plays at the wrong moments, and we probably could argue and say one of those touchdowns was probably not fortunate of a decision. But I mean that happens. That I can sit there and cry and whine, get mad, but you know what? I umpired baseball for 7 years.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, I didn't make every call right when I umpired baseball for 7 years, and that's part of it. So. I've actually been on the other side of it, and I try to let those officials know, hey, I've been on your side of it too. It's not it looks easy from where I'm at, but that's split-second decision. So anyway, and we do have replay, but we don't have replay. It ain't like the SEC with there's 21 different angles and all that different stuff. So anyway.
Yeah, well, a fantastic performance against like you said, the Wildcats from Enterprise last week from the Lions. It was a 46-28 victory. An interesting thought, you mentioned it. Both quarterbacks came and really played well. When you rotate those guys a little bit, does the offensive philosophy change with that too, or is it pretty much the same system? Everything stays the same, just new guy, plug and play?
A little bit of both, to answer your question. We run our offense. Obviously, there's things that we'll do more maybe with Trey and less of Kyle and vice versa. Kyle's probably a little bit more of a pocket passer and can throw it downfield. But you know what? Kyle surprised you running the football. He's pulled his own a couple times, and he's got game speed. Man, he does. The same thing we flip on Trey. Trey, look at it, he's a great athlete, runs the football. But Trey's got a really good arm. Ball comes out quick, and he can get the ball down. He can drive the football. So it's like, man, they both provide something to it, and both of them work their tail off. They both deserve to play and right now it's working for us. So until the point where 2, because sometimes people say, hey, if you got 2, you got none. All right, well, right now I don't believe that. Because right now both guys are working their tail off, and both of them have leadership qualities about it. Trey Edwards is one of the best leaders I've been around. Like, kids just respond to him. He wants to win, man. He does. So right now it's working.
That's great. That's great. Let's see. Let's talk a little bit more back to individual performance, I guess. Maybe this past week you mentioned Taylor Thompson. It's my understanding that 10 catches was a school record.
That's what somebody told me after the game. That's really incredible.
Yeah,
so
because there's been some nice receivers to play here.
That's it, man. And we've all known that, man. Taylor's he's a great young man. I mean, he is. He's a great kid, and man, he's got the ability to be so dominant. He does. I challenge him. I push him with the blocking stuff because I said, man, look, you're a great receiver, but you could be in all state the best that's ever come through if you really go pick up your blocking stuff. And and he has. He's challenged, man. He's really taken on that challenge in practice, and he knows it's not that he's not physical. Taylor's a physical kid. he just had never had to do a whole lot of it. So
Yeah.
I'm saying, so we're trying to, create that, make him an all-around best player. That's why I always tell those guys, I said, you know when the Atlanta Falcons moved up to draft Julio Jones? He'd cover kickoffs, and they said he's one of the best blocking receivers they've ever seen.
Uh-huh.
They said he would go try to wear folks out.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to teach our guys, man. That guy made more money because of that. So,
Yeah.
anyway, he had a great game, and, man, what a performance by him. And he's such a matchup problem. And he's a
Yeah.
big guy that can move, and, man, and he's a competitor, man. There's a couple of times he, catches the ball, and he just muscles his way in the end zone on the corner route. And same thing, he catches the ball over the middle. Really was kind of more of a busted play, but he's wide open in the middle. Catches it, gets hit, and kind of just drags the guy for a first down. So.
I think one of the touchdowns, somebody hit him at the 5, and he said, well, let's go in the end zone
That's
together.
Right. That's right. So, and he made a tough catch on the go ball with the seam ball on our little comeback route, but we have the option to throw the seam, and Trey saw it, hit him, and took a shot, but he held on, made a big play.
Yeah. Another one, and you mentioned it a minute ago, a little bit of excitement. I love seeing those young guys step up. Keandre Powell had a really nice game for you, and he hadn't been a running back for too terribly long.
Oh, that kid's a football player.
I'm
too,
telling
man.
you.
I like that kid. He's a kid, and he had a great night running the football. Man, he's a kid that can play running back. He could go over on defense and be a good player. You just talking about man, one that's going to be special by the time he's a senior, just because he's got the right mindset. I mean, there's some guys that just he's a competitor, and man, he's doing really well. He had a really good night. And I thought Ja'Karen Willis come in and played really well and did some good stuff. So both those young guys, man, had really good nights.
Yeah, that's fantastic. The future is definitely bright with the Lions, with the present too. Well, fans, we're going to step away in just a moment. Again, if you're anywhere near Los Mayas in Prattville, next to the Winn-Dixie shop or the Winn-Dixie store, we'd invite you to come join us. We thank you, those of you who are tuning in on Dixie Country 100.1. Also, those of you joining via the Prattville Alive YouTube channel. Thanks for being with us. You're enjoying the Coach Caleb Ross Show. We'll be back in just a few minutes. If you're close by, we'd invite you to come out, enjoy some good atmosphere, a lot of Lions fans, some good sports talk, but, man, maybe top of the list, delicious food, and they take care of us every week here as well, so I can vouch for it. Come on down and try that. Well, I'm joined, as always, by our head coach, Coach Caleb Ross, tonight. Coach, let's go back to the game in the first segment. As we discussed, we talked a lot about offense. You had some special defensive performances this past week, individually and team-wise. I want you to talk about the defensive effort last week just a little bit.
Yeah, sure. You know, we always up front, man. Rodney Thompson's kind of been a consistent leader there.
Yeah.
Jason McKeithen didn't have a big night stats, but you talking about maintaining gap control and keeping guys off our linebackers. Sometimes that's some of the biggest assignments our D linemen have is, hey, chew up double teams, let our linebackers run and make tackles. And he did a great job of that, man. Will McQuiston comes in, does a great job. We got some promise there too. Hey, Willie Willis had his best night. Willie Willis had his best night of the year, so he had a really good night. Really proud of him, and we've been challenging him because he's one that's got a ton of talent, ton of potential, and he really dialed in, had a really good night.
Yeah.
Our linebackers, man, it seems like we got three guys that seem to just rack up tackles, and you're talking about Jake Howard, Mason Taylor, Zach Borner.
Yeah.
I think Zach Borner ended up having like 12, 13 tackles Friday night. So so they had good nights, and then, man, it's almost impossible to complete a ball on Brandon Butts. You know what I mean? So maybe that's a challenge to somebody. I don't know, but he does such a great job. And, man, how about Trey Thompson?
Yeah.
How about probably the biggest play to set the momentum? Really, on a great call by our defense, hides his coverage, goes and robs a in route, picks it off and runs the house, and really kind of flipped him, got us up and got the momentum going for us. So, and I could go on. We moved Quan Jones over the corner. He's doing a great job there. Wade White. You know, kid come in, transferred in, man. He's come in, he started and had a really good night. So, Ian Jackson, man, I could go on and on. Skylar Henderson, Marlon Brantley. Marlon Brantley's playing well, man. He's a tough physical kid. Man. He brings a physical presence. I mean, even though he's not a big kid, he's strong and he's doing a good job. So I could list a bunch of guys, man. Really proud of where our defense is. We gave up a few big plays at the wrong times, but overall, man, we had a good night. Yeah,
and it's a growing experience. I mean, it feels like we've been going at this a while, but we're not even halfway through the season yet, you know?
I agree, and it's like, man, somebody said, oh, it's that mid-year grind. You're right. I mean, we're going into week 5, but in some ways it feels like we just started.
Right.
But other ways you feel like, man, we've been getting after this for a while too. So, and I tell the kids all the time, I definitely tell those seniors, say, guys, you're going to blink. I told them back in the summer, so you're going to blink the first game's here. You're going to blink again, and it's going to be week 6, week 7. And I think they're starting to see that. Like, Coach, I got my opportunities of winding down. Man, don't have any regrets. You know what I mean? Don't leave it all out there. So, and we've had some guys that have played their hearts out, man. I'm really proud of this senior group, man. It's one of those you getting to really spend time around them now, and you really start to like some of the kids and the personalities, and we'll always stay in touch. But you're almost like kind of sad that, man, I wish I could have 3 or 4 more years with these guys. Yeah. But anyway. But I, always be appreciative of this first year and this first group.
Yeah, and you've done a great work with them. So back to the kind of halfway point thing. What are your thoughts so far? I know when you came in, we're coming off of 2 pretty rough seasons. You can call it a rebuild. You can call it whatever you want to call it. The job that lay ahead of you. Well, we're almost halfway through the first season. What are your thoughts so far? How are you feeling about it?
I was asked the other day, coaches, are you further along than you thought? Are you about where you thought? And maybe I'm going to give a generic answer. In some areas, man, we're further along. In some areas, you're like, we're about where I thought we'd be. I mean, here's the thing, though. We're kind of in that pivotal point in the year that we're 3-1 and really having a great year compared to where in the past. But where can we go from here, man?
Yeah.
There's not a game on our schedule that we can't win.
Yeah.
Okay, there's not. But then again, there's not a team on our schedule where if we don't come bring it Friday night,
show up ready,
then, man, you can get beat. So it's like, where do we go from here? And it's really a challenge to our staff. First of all, me and the coach staff are getting our boys ready. Then it's on them. Once we get on step on the field, you got to go execute, got to go perform. So, man, I'm really pleased. We're 3-1. We've got a region win. We do have a region loss, but that team's probably going to beat most people in the region. Man, everything we want's still there. And you never know, man. And I told the guys, I said, man, I want to go play Central again. Now, man, they got on us. They got on us good. But, a little bit of just a pride. Let's go see if we can get those guys back somewhere.
Yeah.
But right now, man, you can look at that big picture. And I do. I'd be lying. Everybody says, I'll focus on one day at a time. And trust me, we do. We are so competitive, and we push them every day. I do see the big picture.
Sure,
I have to as a head coach, man. I see. Like I said, I'm watching the freshman practice, and I'm projecting where these guys are going to be in a year. You know what I mean? If they can help us next year, and I go down, I watch the 8th grade, and I say, man, that kid right there, here, move him here. So I'm always doing that. But at the end of the day, right now, we've still got to go every day, learn how to practice, learn how to compete. I'm starting to see it, though.
Yeah.
I really am. I'm starting to see little things. Like, I remember 2 weeks ago it rained, and I guess our off week, the kids were kind of stunned we practiced.
Yeah.
It rained yesterday, and I don't think half of them were that stunned anymore that we were going to practice. We said they were kind of like, "This is who we are. We're going to go practice." I think they just kind of gotten over it either. I guess it ain't going to do no good if they're shocked or not. We're still going to go. But it's almost like, come on, we're starting to appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey, this is kind of who we are. You know what I mean? Now, when we can get to that point in our program, hey, this is just who we are, man. We're going to go grind. We're going to go work, and they love it. Then you're starting to do something, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you really are. So.
That's when you're doing something you love, it gets a whole lot easier. The workouts get easier. Everything gets easier. Yeah, I was going to mention that weather thing. That was pretty crazy. I had a chance to spend a little time down there yesterday. My shoes were actually still kind of soaking wet from that, soaking through. But I was there a couple of weeks ago when you said, hey, it was a little tough for them. To yesterday, it was night and day difference, man. Those guys were out there. They were flying around. They were, yes, sir. You know, when you said get over here, they're on a hop. I think that speaks a lot of, like you said, the culture, the mindset, where you want to be, and like you said, in some areas we're past where we want to be. Some where
that's it. And that's it. You want them, man. You want to like, man, just trust.
Trust, big word.
Trust. We're going to get, and it's hard because they've never seen it. They don't know. And I'm like, man, just if I can put some experience in you that I've had, just trust that. I mean, I'm not a. Because sometimes, man, we push them. Hey, we're not trying to hurt you. We're not trying to be the bad guy or anything. But we just want them to practice at a standard, till eventually they get comfortable being uncomfortable. You know what I mean? To the point where, look, man, we're grinders. And then they know the confidence when they play a fourth quarter and we watch. And that's what I told them. I said, guys, if you don't believe this stuff isn't working, and what you do in the off season with Coach Shook's weight program and what we're doing and how we're practicing, you look at the Enterprise game. We're sitting there playing, and starting second, third, fourth quarter, they got guys going out left and right, laying on the field left and right. We didn't have any interest Friday night.
Yeah.
We didn't have any interest Friday night. And I said, that's a credit to what you're doing in this offseason, training your body and how in our practices. Man, they're the ones that got guys and said, so it is working. You just got to see it and believe it. And we're going to, man, we ain't there yet. We're still going to have some growing pains and things. And, but I hope they don't, maybe we can still, I want to win them all, but you never know. But there's going to be some adversity. And that's part of it. How do you handle that? How do you bounce back when things don't go our way? And I thought we responded greatly after the game against Phoenix City. Man, these kids could have cashed it in. I said, man, this ain't no different than it was in the past. We're going to, man, whatever. But they didn't. They showed up the next morning. They showed back up ready to work and had a good week. And I'm telling you, this week's been probably our best week of practice. I know it has offensively. So.
Yeah. That's exciting. Well, listen, we're going to step away for a break for just a moment. We do have a home ball game coming up this week, so we'll talk about that in a few minutes at one of our later segments. Those of you who are joining us tonight on the radio, thanks for being with us. Again, if you're anywhere near, we're at Los Mayas Restaurant right next to Winn-Dixie in Prattville, so if you're close by, come join us. We'd love to have you out here. Thank you again to those of you listening on Dixie Country 100.1, also those tuning in on Prattville Alive YouTube channel. You're listening to the Coach Caleb Ross Show. Thanks for being with us. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Prattville Lions fans, this is Chris Britton, your host for the Coach Caleb Ross Show. We're coming to you live from Los Mayas Restaurant in Prattville, right next to Winn-Dixie. If you're close by, we'd invite you to come out and enjoy some good sports talk, but some even better food. So come on down, fans. We'd love to have you join us tonight. I'm joined, as always, by head coach of the Lions, Coach Caleb Ross. We've done a little bit of catch-up on last week's game, talked about Enterprise. Coach, obviously there's another game coming up tomorrow night.
It is. Man, we got a really big – obviously it's not a region game, but you're talking about it's a big game.
Rivalry game.
It's a rivalry game. And that's what, to me, we always say this is what high school football is about. It's kind of like the Stanhope game. You got a nearby community. It's got a really good program. Man, it should be a great night for high school football. I expect a pretty big crowd. I think most of this weather we got today is supposed to be out of here by midday tomorrow, so we should have a good night. So I expect a big crowd, and, man, on both sides. I'm sure Wetumpka will bring a good crowd from them.
Yeah.
So, man, it should be a really good night for high school football.
Yeah, so looking forward to the Wetumpka opponent. They got some talented players over there on the other side of the field coming in tomorrow night.
Well, they do, man. It's like, the quarterback who was just a special player. We had I say the privilege, I guess the tough night of trying to defend him when I was at Opelika last year, and he's a really good player. And unfortunate for him, he hurt his knee, and I heard the recovery's going fine, so he'll be fine. But then they put in a kid, and you think, well, man, they may take a step back. And I don't know if they're taking a step back. The kid they put in right now is pretty good, man. He's fast, he's strong, he's got a strong arm, he can throw the ball down the field, and they got some guys that can go run up under it too. So, man, they just got weapons. They got some really good athletes, some good players, and man, it's probably their program's probably right now is at its zenith of it's always been. So I mean, at the peak of where they've been, and credit to their staff and what they're doing. But and it's a challenging night, but you know what, our boys are ready for it. Until we've had a good week, and we're not going to. I mean, we expect to go in there and go compete. We every time we step on the field, we expect to win. I know Wetumpka's going to feel the same way. So. Should be a good night.
Do you feel like your guys, week by week, are they figuring out their identity on a game night little by little? Is it
slowly. I mean, it's going to naturally happen. I don't care who you are because of you just play. And we've had like I said, we've had some unique nights. Like I said, the Stanhope's kind of an outlier because of the rain offensively. Now we had a really good night defensively, and then the Central's really just because this right now they're just so what their program is and what their players and the type of players they got. They're just right now probably a step ahead of most people. I think we're the one program that can get it real quick and get it back to that level very fast, and I think they know that too. So, but so it's really two games that are kind of outliers where Enterprise, and probably to be fair, we probably got a little bit more talent right now than Enterprise. Enterprise is going through a low talent spell, but they got some young kids. They're going to be good. I think they said they got 17 kids that'll be back next year. So I expect that program to be really good. And they got a sophomore running back. I think number 6, McCary or McCray or something. McCray, maybe. That kid's going to be special, man. Yeah. So, anyway. But, yeah, to answer your question, I think our guys are we're starting to see what we got, too. That's the thing. Being the first year, I was telling somebody, as a staff, you really don't know what you have. You got an idea. We play some 7-on-7, so I had an idea what some of our kids do. But you don't know how they're going to perform when you go put full gear on. And so now it's like knowing now what we got, you really can kind of do a better job of setting up your game plans. Hey, let's use this guy's strengths here. All right, let's go focus on, let's run behind this guy here. Or, that helps. So, hey, even on defense, let's don't put this guy on the island. Hey, this guy's here. We're going to be fine doing this coverage because he can handle that.
Yeah, so. Yeah. That's great stuff. And I didn't even think about it until you really mentioned that. This is your first year here. Yeah. And a lot of your staff, this is their first year here, and you can look as much tape as you want on the kids you've got coming back to you. Until you see them on the field, it's hard to figure out where they fit the best. And it sounds like y'all are doing a great job of utilizing guys, moving them around, figuring out where you can best use them for the system you want.
Well, and I'll tell you one area that it shows up is special teams. I mean, everybody says, well, you got a snapper and you got a kicker, but man, like even what guys can go cover down and tackle in space. And you see, when you're in shorts and T-shirts, you see a lot of guys that can run. You think, man, this guy can do it, but till you actually go get on the field and go run down and go break your body down and tackle somebody, man, you don't really know who can do those things. So I see now when, it's like any year, your first year, early on, you may – not that we've been bad on special teams, but we ain't been as good as I want. And that's one thing that I'll take responsibility for it. I mean, we work the stew out of it. Anybody comes watch us practice know we put a lot of time into it. But really a lot of it's understanding, hey, we're starting now to figure out who's our best personnel. Like we had to kind of revamp our whole kickoff return unit because I had to go put the guys I thought was going to give us the best chance to be successful.
Right.
But, you're going to take a step back till they learn. But anyway, we're starting to figure out now what our guys can do and who can help us where. And it makes it easier trying to game plan.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Turning the focus back to tomorrow night's game, Lions fans might recognize a couple of the guys on the other side of the field. You got D'Angelo, who was here with us last year, and then P.J. Lucas are over on the other side of the field. Two great talents. It's going to be kind of exciting to see those guys. Do you know much about them, those fellas?
I know who they are, obviously, and I know our kids, man. They got great relationships with them, and they're both really good players. And from what I understand, man, both of them are great kids, man.
Yeah.
That's one thing that matters. And all said and done, you look back 10 years now, man, those are good people, good guys, and we wish them nothing but success. We hope their success is limited tomorrow night. You know what I mean? But man, we wish them all the best, and I think both of them are going to have really good careers in high school, finish out, and probably go on the next level and have really good careers. So, and I know it means something to our kids because you grow up with them or you're around them, and that's what, and once again, it's what makes high school football kind of neat, man.
Yeah.
Especially when it goes communities in a situation like that where, hey, they were teammates, now you're playing against them. But, hey, that's part of it. You may have guys that even some guys on our high school team right now may go on to play college, and they may go compete against somebody that they went against that they were teammates with in high school. That happens. So I remember I played when I was in high school. I played in an all-star game. Was teammates with a guy. Then we both went to opposite junior colleges. In the very first play of both our college careers, we had to go block one another or go against one another. So I was like, how about that? Anyway, so that's going to happen. That makes it fun, though.
Yeah, that's great. Coach, you touched a little bit earlier on leadership, and I know that's a big deal to you. Are you seeing that growing in your guys? And you can talk specifically, fellas, or even not, just generally speaking, but how do you see that leadership growth out of your fellas as a team?
Well, you always see the guys that can step up, man. You start to see the guys who sometimes everybody wants to be a leader. They don't know how.
Yeah.
And we tried to do a lot of that stuff this summer, really kind of, the right mindset, how to be a leader. But you really don't know until adversity hits who's going to step up. And a better question, there's a lot of guys sometimes that want to be a leader, but, man, who do the kids listen to? And that's another thing, talking about being the first year. You just don't know. Well, now you're going 4 or 5 games into it, and you kind of got a good idea of that guy right there is who they listen to. I mean, that's the ones that they respond to. So let's make sure we get that guy going. He's going to get the rest of them going. Or, hey, let's go put time into him, showing him how to go handle this situation. And to me, because there's no way it's with 120 kids – you got to coach your coaches, you got to coach your leaders, and they're the ones that got to go impact the rest of the guys. I mean, you're going to spend time with them all, but if you really want to be effective, man, you got to go influence somebody else. That way he can go influence 5 more people. You know what I mean? Type deal. So
totally, that's a good word.
And you understand that, man. Just some of the things you and I have talked about, what you present to the kids too. It's really, really good stuff, man.
Yeah. Well, and I think as part of it, and I know that's a lot of your philosophy is you want to produce football players, but you also want to produce productive young men. They're going to go into the work world, to whatever their career is going to be, and not run at the first sign of adversity.
Well, we said that last night. We were talking about, hey, that rain set in, and, we waited there 45 minutes, and we didn't practice. Got on the field, was on there 20 minutes, and all of a sudden the monsoon comes. We go in the locker room. You know what? But we didn't go home. We didn't panic. They knew that, hey, as soon as this rain goes back, we're going to go right back on the field. And I said, we're talking. I said, I hope that when they're 35 – and the rain comes in their life, and it's going to come. Everybody knows, being an adult sometimes is hard. Real life's going to happen.
Yes, sir.
That they can lean back on. You know what? All I can do is go back and just go to work. Just grind, man. We're going to get through this. It'll be fine. The rain will stop. You know what? And we're going to come right back and we're going to go to work. And they aren't going to quit, give up. And I think that's what you learn, the value of football, really any sports, of anything like this. Man, the toughness, the things I know, I tell anybody every day. And I can say, hey, I'm a guy that's got a master's degree, man, but I learned as much on a football field as I ever did in the classroom. And I'll tell every administrator, every superintendent that, and a lot of them agree. I mean, I learned as much on that football field as I ever did in the classroom. So, I mean, education isn't all academic sometimes.
That's right.
So now we support it. I don't want to give the wrong impression. Man. That sounds bad, because I taught pre-AP history for 5 years, man. And thought I'd try to do a good job with it. But like I said, education ain't always academics.
Yeah. Well, I've heard it said leadership and a lot of things that you need to know, they're better caught than taught. Yeah. And in sports, oftentimes you catch that stuff. You kind of figure it out like you're talking about with yesterday and that kind of thing. Well, fans, we've had a great show so far, but we're not done. We're going to go to a break in just a moment. If you're anywhere near us, we're at Los Mayas Restaurant here in Prattville. They just brought us out a tray of food, so we're about to enjoy it. You come down, we might even share with you. There's no telling. In the next segment, we're going to bring out the Buffalo Rock Player of the Week. We'll introduce them to you in just a little bit. So I hope you stick around with us. Like I said, if you're close by, come visit us. If not, if you're listening on Dixie Country 100.1, thanks for being with us. Also, those of you on Prattville Alive YouTube channel, thanks for tuning tuning in tonight. You're listening to the Coach Caleb Ross Show. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Main Street, right next to Winn-Dixie. If you're anywhere nearby in the 36067 zip code, we love for you to come by and join us. The Lion Faithful is gathering. We got a pretty good crowd building up, and we'd love to have you be a part of it as well. Also, not enough thanks given, by the way, to the producer, engineer, audio man, make everything happen, the Millser, Stacy Mills. Stacy, thank you. He's off camera, off radio, waving at you and saying thank you for tuning in tonight. It's my pleasure at this time to be joined by this week's Buffalo Rock Player of the Week. We've talked about him a little bit already tonight, Mr. Taylor Thompson. Taylor, welcome to the show tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, good to have you. I've got a couple of things for you. You got the Buffalo Rock Player of the Week plaque, also a Sports Clips MVP treatment, and a lunch trampoline park pass for, I think, an hour. Now, Coach Ross says save that till after the season. So
Good call.
yeah, maybe give it away to a friend.
No,
if you
that's
want.
pretty fun. Have you ever been to one? Those
I
things are
have.
fun. I actually went. Took
I
my
have.
kids there.
Yeah, they are a ball. So Taylor, I had a pretty decent ball game this past weekend, man.
Yes,
The word record is getting thrown around about how many catches do you have?
They said I had 10.
So you're saying how many? You said they said.
10.
Okay. I thought maybe, Coach said one of them might have been a penalty that took one away that maybe not. But anyway, that's still pretty decent. How many yards did we pick up on the night?
I said 400.
400? What? No, had a big night. That's awesome.
146.
And then 3 touchdowns?
Yes, sir.
Look, that's a pretty decent day, man. Congratulations on that, and congratulations on running through the end zone that many times and then picking up the plaque on the way out here tonight. So, Taylor, take us through the game the other night. How it was not a breakthrough game. I mean, you show up every week. It was a little bit bigger performance than most of them. Tell us a little bit about Thursday night, or last Friday night, rather.
It was a good atmosphere. It was a really fun game, and I just really got the chance to get a lot of catches and touches and get a lot of yards.
I understand. Well, yeah, for me, I'm a basketball guy, right? And sometimes there's nights where you just feel like you can throw it up in the air and it's going to go in the goal, right? Was that kind of the feeling, like no matter where you ran on the field the other night, you were open, you put that hand up, either Kyle or either Trey was going to put it right there for you?
Yeah, it was a feeling.
That's awesome. Now, they can throw it as good as they want to, but at the end of the day, you got to make the catch. You did that 10 times, man, so congratulations. Great job.
Thank you.
All right, well, Taylor, let's talk a little bit about life, man, okay? I'm going to put you on the spot. You're stranded on the island. You can only take one teacher from Prattville High School with you. Who are you going to let stay on the island with you?
Probably Coach Smith.
Coach Smith, all right. What does he teach?
He teaches health.
Okay, all right. Is it because you like him or health is easy?
I like his personality. He's funny.
All right, Coach Smith.
He's a good guy.
Fantastic. So if we were to grab your phone, and are you an Apple guy or Droid guy?
Samsung.
Samsung. Okay, so Android. So if we listen to whatever music player you play, who we go see on repeat the most? This is a family show, by the way. No, I'm kidding. I'm just messing with you.
You're probably going to see Young Thug on there a lot.
Okay. Fantastic. I need your favorite movie of all time. This is what the fans, they're texting me wanting to know. No, they didn't really text me. I made that part up. But I'm sure if they're listening, they want to know. What's your favorite movie, man?
It's The Blind Side.
The Blind Side. All right, that's a good one. Now, I'm going to show my age. My second favorite sports movie of all time. You ever seen a movie called Rudy?
I haven't.
Dad, we got to fix this. Jimbo Thompson, Dad over here talking about the man-child. You need to have a father-son night and watch Rudy, okay? That's good stuff. Well, Taylor, if someone out there was listening and want to know more about you, what do they need to know?
I'm a funny guy.
Funny guy, all right.
And I work hard every day. And just a fun guy to be around.
I hear you, all right. Now, what year are you in school this year?
I'm a junior.
So you're going to be back around for another go at it.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. All right. Well, we got several more regular season games going. How do you feel about the rest of the way?
I think we can win out.
I hear you. All right. It's going to take hard work every night, right?
Every night.
Friday. And well, I guess Monday or Sunday through Thursday. Every day you work out, it's going to take a lot of effort out there. Well, fantastic. All the single ladies out there listening are wanting to know. Important question. They're watching you on YouTube right there. Taylor?
It's where it goes downhill.
Are you available? I'm just trying to fill the air at this point, but it's fun. Are you available or are you tied up at the moment?
I'm available right now.
There he is. All right, ladies. His phone number is. No, I'm kidding. It just got awkward. Now, Taylor, you're surrounded by several playmakers, a couple of quarterbacks close to you. What do they need to do better, these two guys? Improve their throwing ability.
They're doing really good right now. Honestly.
Okay. Look, did you see how he took the middle road there?
Oh, yeah. Kyle needs to get better on the run. We talked about that. We're going to work on it after practice.
Well, that was pretty impressive. I thought it was a misprint when I looked through the stats. Trey, 188 yards on the ground last week.
He did really good.
Lord, I haven't gone that far walking in a week, I don't think, much less one night running football. So that's pretty impressive stuff. Well, Taylor, you won the Sports Clips. You were given the MVP treatment. Are you going to let them cut your hair, man, or do you have a place?
I'm gonna let them cut my hair.
Is that where you go? Is that where you go anyway?
No, I go to Sonya. It's downtown.
Okay, but you will trust them with it?
Yeah,
of course, man, because they got the TVs and the sports and stuff like that. It's going to be a great place to go, so that'll be fantastic. All right, well, Coach, you're with us too. Anything you want to say about Taylor while we got him on here?
No, man, like I said earlier, he's a phenomenal young man, and he works his tail off, man. I tell you the other thing, too. I think Taylor's like a 3.8, 3.9 GPA, maybe even higher. I don't know. He's a really smart kid. He's got an offer from UAB already as a junior.
Fantastic.
Man, you talking about the future is so bright, and the sky's the limit for him, man. He knows that, and he does. He puts in the time. He works. He's just a really, really good young man. It's a pleasure to coach.
There you go. I do have one more question that fans probably want to know. Favorite college program?
LSU.
Well, that's it. We're taking the award back, and you're off the show. No, I'm kidding.
I wasn't saying, my team is Alabama. I'm just saying that's where I want to go to college at.
Okay. Hey, either way, roll Tide, go Tigers, whatever, man. That's awesome. Well, Taylor, thank you for joining in with us tonight, being a part of the show, and congratulations on a outstanding performance last week. And, man, go do it again tomorrow night.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. Cool. Well, Coach, we got a couple more minutes on this segment. Let's talk a little bit about a little bit more, and we touched on this earlier in the season. But let's go to community involvement. I know there's opportunity in having Taylor in here. I know his dad serves as the vice president for the Booster Club. I know you got a lot of people who've come out, but is there always room for more?
Always, man. We always need help, especially on a Friday night. And like we said it before on this show, man, there's so much that goes into putting on a game. Like you need volunteers during the game, selling apparel. We need setup. We do sponsorship stuff. We need parking. We need volunteers for that. There's so much that people just don't understand. It's a big event. And, And, man, thank goodness. Well, there's a lot of people that do a lot of that stuff for us. And there's a lot of things, though, behind the scenes that people just do. And people don't even know. People just think you show up and play football. Man, it's just more to it. And you need volunteers. You need quarterback club members. You do. You need just people in the community. And we get great support, man. We do. Great support from, not only our school system, great support from our city. The city really steps up and makes sure that fields and our stadium's in great shape Friday night, man. This is what it's about. This is why we came back home. We knew Prattville was one of those unique communities where you can have it all as a football coach, man. You got a great place to live. You got talented kids. You got a community that cares, and they let you do your job. It's like, man, this is. And it's all sitting here at your hometown, man. And that's and especially what makes it unique for us is we're back here involved in the community. In this community, every community we've been in has meant something, but it means a little more. It just does. You're home, man, and you know the people in the community. So, and anybody that wants to get involved, man, we'd love to have you out, man. I'd love to get you to any type of support. Our kids need it. If anything, just show up on Friday night, man, to come see these boys play. Yeah,
fantastic. That's a great call. And that's a great way to end this segment. Fans, if you're listening and you're wondering, hey, how can I get involved? Well, you can show up for the game at the minimum. Pick up tickets ahead of time or pick them up at the gate night of. Like you said earlier, I believe the stands are going to be pretty a lot of folks at the ball game tomorrow night. It's going to be a great atmosphere, so we need as many Lion fans as we can get out there to help support our fellas and just cheer them on. Kind of have that 12th man effect on the evening. Well, fans, again, thank you for being with us tonight. We're going to have one more segment, so don't turn off the radio or the live feed just yet. If you're close by, there's still time to get here at Los Mayas Restaurant here in Prattville. Those of you watching on YouTube, you're on the Prattville Alive YouTube channel. Thanks for being with us. Also, those of you tuning in on the radio through Dixie Country 100.1, you're listening to the Coach Caleb Ross Show. We'll be back in just a few minutes. your host for the Coach Caleb Ross Show. We're coming to you live from Los Mayas Restaurant here in Prattville, right next to Winn-Dixie. If you are anywhere nearby, you've got a few minutes. You can get by and hang out with us. But don't stop then, because you can still come by later, enjoy some delicious food, and they also have some fun karaoke inside on Thursday night. So it's just a great atmosphere down at Los Mayas. I'm joined, as always, by Coach Caleb Ross. Coach, we've got our last segment tonight. Let's talk again about the schedule a little bit, how the region is kind of starting to shape up. I know it's just in the infancy for this season, but what are you seeing so far and what we have coming up?
And it's still pretty early. I mean, there's still a lot that can happen, but we knew Central was going to be good. Auburn's got a good team again. Right now, I think both teams are undefeated. Lee's got a strong team. Auburn did beat Lee, but that was a really good ball game. So, and that's going to be our next region opponent. We play with Tumpka tomorrow night, but then we go over to Crampton Bowl next week and go play Lee. So that'll be a big one. You play Jeff Davis. Jeff Davis probably had the roughest go of it so far. I don't think they've got a win yet. So, man, right now they're probably the I guess last, but that don't mean that's where they're going to end. They've always got players that their coach staff does a really good job. Smith Station's probably been the surprise, man. Even though they beat Enterprise, Smith Station's got a lot better football team this year. I think they've won 2, maybe 3. I think they won 3-2 from a program that really the last 2 or 3 years has struggled. So they got a new coach, new coaching staff. Man, they bring the offensive coordinator was actually a guy that was on my staff at Opelika last year. So he's a good guy, good football coach. Really running the same stuff we're running, man. They're having a lot of success with it. So, man, they're better. So it's like really every game starting tomorrow night. I mean, every game is a battle.
Yeah, there's no nights off.
There's just not, and we knew that coming. That's what makes it fun, though. Man, those nights gets the kids excited, gets me excited as a coach.
Fantastic. So, Coach, when you told us game week lead up, what happens on Saturday? I mean, win or loss on Friday, you don't take a day off, I don't think, do you?
Saturday morning is the one morning I probably will sleep in a little bit. I get up about 6 instead of 4:30, you know what I mean? So, but we get up, we probably get up to the school about 8. What we do is the coaches will start breaking down film. Sometimes the coordinators will go ahead and start getting stats, things like that done. Then we'll start watching film as an offensive staff and defense staff at 8. We do ask our starters, our 1 and 2 deep guys, to come in at 9 o'clock and really just kind of get a recovery workout. Now, if they've got something going on, they're going to visit a college or they're going here and there, we let them go do that. We don't ever want to take that away. And it's not an intense workout. We want them to be focused and get something out of it, but it's really more of a recovery. The science behind it is if within 24 hours you've got to do enough things to flush out the lactic acid out of your muscles, the soreness leaves, and that speeds up the recovery process, whatever. A bunch of stuff that nobody cares about, but that's but what a strength guy does, and that's what we do. So we do that. Then we'll finish watching the tape on Saturday from the night before. We to me, some guys don't believe in that. That game's already been played. I do. How are you going to get better if you don't sit there and correct the things?
Sure.
Or highlight the things done well. Not all of it's just negative. I mean, hey, that's a great job. We need to make sure, hey, this is how you run the football. This is how we block inside zone right here. I mean, so you highlight those things. We discuss, hey, who had great games. We discuss any type of personnel change. And then really the rest of the day is our guys' time off. You know what I mean? Go be with your families, do whatever, watch college football. We are conscious that all of us have film to be watching, so we kind of want to have a better plan for Sunday. So Saturdays for me is time to really get to spend time with my family. Man, it's these weeks are long. There's nights when, like this week, I have not. I didn't really get to be home this week, so I hadn't had a chance to really go see my kids and put them down at night at all. And I see them maybe briefly in the morning for about 15 minutes. So Saturday afternoons are really the one time I get to go spend time with my kids.
Be dad, yeah.
Get to be
important.
dad. Like I said, we're going to the fair this Saturday.
Hey.
We're looking forward to it, man, to get to see my kids and do all that. So that's the one time I get to do that. And I'm pretty picky about that. A lot of people, as a head football coach, it never stops. People are always calling. They're always needing something. I kind of shut it down. I put that phone up, and I kind of put it away and don't even look at it because if not, I can't be dad. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I've always said going into this deal, when I started coaching, and I've got to be a good man before I'm a good coach. You know what I mean? And if I can't go be dad, then we got to do something else. You know what I mean? So, but right now, it works. We spend time. But with that being said, if the kids are off doing something or whatever, we'll sneak a peek at our next opponent, and then obviously Sunday get up, take our families to church, man. Wherever our guys go, they go, man. Go spend time with your family. Then 12:30, man, we get rolling on Sundays, and Sundays are, man, they're pretty long. I get it, but man, this past week was probably the longest one we had. anyway, we didn't get out of there till pretty late. But, we want to make sure.
Is that a game plan development day?
Well, it ain't saying you say, oh, you spend more time with Tom. Not really. Sometimes it just works out that way. I have some parents will bring in food for the coaches on Sunday, so we do feed them. We have like a process of breaking down personnel. We go through formations. And we have 2 staff meetings on Sunday. We'll meet first at 12:30, and it's really talking about cleaning up who were the players of the week, who are our scout team players of the week. We do award decals for our kids, who gets how many decals. Then we talk about do we have rosters, all the stuff, really cleaning up the week before in preparation. Then when we come back at night, we meet offense and defense to discuss game plan, and then we always have that last staff meeting. All right, practice schedule this week. We're going to be in full gear this day, whatever. We got a JV game. We got a freshman game. We go through all that. That way our coaches, hopefully they know what they're supposed to do, and everybody's on the same page. I just want to make sure there is no miscommunication. And even then, sometimes it's still hard, but we're going to be playing. We're going to have a plan going into this thing. So
yeah, and I hope fans, as you listen, you catch that vision of, the coach doesn't just show up on Friday night and tell the kids what to do. There's a whole lot more to it.
Man, it's so much detailed. I heard somebody. It's like somebody trying to tell a coach what to call, what to do is like a third grader trying to tell a college grad. You know what I mean? What to, right. This how you need to do this math problem, whatever. And you just laugh, you smile as a coach because they don't know. There's so much detail. We're calling plays off of percentages based off of down and distance and hash and what part of the field. And they're like, call the right play that wins. Well, we're trying. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because based off of left hash on the 35-yard line, they're going to run this type of front in 3rd and 5. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we want to call a play that attacks that front. And you start talking that language, and people are like, what are you talking about, man? You know what I mean? I was like, but that's part of it. I don't know anything about doctor, but if I watch a movie, I'm going to feel like I know something about the medical field. You know what I mean? So
that's right.
But we know that going in, and you just got to be accepted, and that's part of it.
Roll on with it.
That's it.
No doubt. Well, listen, Coach, thank you again for giving us another Thursday night. Fans, we're so glad that you joined us for this evening's show. Also, keep up with WSFA tonight. Taylor Thompson, our Player of the Week, is up for the Fever Athlete of the Week, so you can check that out as well. Well, fans, thank you again for being here with us tonight. We're going to turn over to Hey Coach in just a few minutes. We want to thank you, those of you who are joining us on the radio at Dixie Country 100.1, also on Prattville Live, the YouTube channel. You've been listening to the Coach Caleb Ross Show. We'll see you next week.